Hey everyone, make sure I get everything straight. Give Facebook a second to let everyone know I'm here. I hope they made me go back to the new live producer. I've been using the old version and they finally fixed the flaws in the new one, so they forced me to use it. So I'm hoping I can still see everyone's comments and that I'm coming through okay, because I'm used to the old version and they made me do the new one. So, yeah. Hi everyone, I am Morgan, owner of Ink Goddess Creations, if this is your first time joining us. On Fridays, I pick a topic and talk to you all about it. It's really good for beginner witches. So definitely, if you want to take notes or anything, the replay will go up onto the shop page as well. So it'll be left up there. And if you are watching this on the replay, if you could type replay in the comments for me, and that way I know how many people watch the replay versus the live and everything. And today we're talking Summer Solstice. We're talking a little bit more than Summer Solstice, because there is a lot going on right now. Like, astrologically, celestially, it is crazy out there right now, and I love it, and it can all be tied together. So, let me make sure. Okay. I don't know if anybody has commented. If anybody has commented or said hello, I have not been able to see it, which could be a problem, because then I can't answer your questions. So yeah, if anybody is there and you want to hit like comment for me, say like hello or something, and then that way I know whether or not I'm gonna be able to see your comments, because that would really suck. Okay. So yes, I'm talking Summer Solstice today with you all. Summer Solstice, we're going to go into kind of what Summer Solstice is, how to celebrate it, some correspondences for Summer Solstice, and yeah, and then what else is going on, which would be the new moon, the solar eclipse. Mercury retrograde is going on right now. It is an absolute crazy time. Crazy time, and it can all be pulled together. My husband is checking for me, I think, to see, because I don't have any kind of comments or anything coming in.
Just a bunch of hellos and highs.
There are hellos and highs, though.
There's like 10, 12.
Yep, I'm not seeing any of them. That sucks so bad. Let me see. And I have it open too. Commenters will only be able to comment every 10 seconds. That's a weird one. See, this is why I don't like the new one, because I can't see anything. And I told them that this was a bug and all that good stuff. Hold on. No. Yeah, I don't see anything. So, I don't know. Are you just going to keep it open for me?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Okay, so my husband's going to watch, and he's going to jot down comments and questions and stuff for me. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm going to try and go back to the old one. Especially for tomorrow's gemstone live. I'm going to want to see comments in case anybody has questions on them. I have to force it. I'll force to go back to the old one. All right, so we're talking Summer Solstice. So Summer Solstice is tomorrow into Sunday, depending on where you are in the world. They're doing a Summer Solstice. They're setting up cameras at Stonehenge in England. I'm very excited about that. And that starts, for me, I think it was noon my time, or 12:30 my time. And they're doing them for sundown tomorrow into sunrise into Sunday. So if you are, for me, that would be like, it was 12:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. So I'll be watching the sunrise at 9:30. So people on the East Coast, it would be about midnight. But that's super exciting. I'm really happy about that. So you can celebrate starting tomorrow the whole weekend. And it's the first day of summer. So it is the longest day of the year. It is the time when the sun is up the longest in the sky, the night is the shortest. Okay? And it is the first official day of summer. So we will also get into Summer Solstice is also known as Litha to Wiccans, and then it's also known as Midsummer. And I always thought that was super weird why it was called Midsummer when it was the first day of summer, and I will tackle that at the end. So right now, kind of energetically speaking, hold on. Hey, my daughter's calling my phone. Sorry. This is what it's like to be live.
Yep.
So we also have a new moon in Cancer, which is the 20th into the 21st, depending on, which time zone you're in. And this new moon also carries with it a solar eclipse. So that right there, with all of this being in the astrological sign of Cancer, Cancer is a water sign. It deals with emotions. So emotions are going to be crazy right now between the new moon, the solar eclipse, Mercury retrograde. Absolutely crazy. Emotions are going to be heightened. It is a time to strive for balance. So, and at the end, or kind of towards the end, I'm going to pull into ways that you can practice, because I'm all about energy. So you're going to be able to, I'm going to give you ways to kind of pull solstice energy, new moon energy, solar eclipse energy, Mercury retrograde energy all together into one, and a couple of things you can do to be able to honor all four of them, because it is a super energetic time. Even if it's chaotic energy, it is a super energetic time right now. So everything's going to be emotional, super emotional. Emotions are going to be heightened. It's just going to be crazy. So kind of brace yourself and strive for balance. So Cancer is also ruled by the moon. So you're going to be a little bit more sensitive right now and a little bit more intuitive right now. So definitely go with your gut. You're going to be given some energy right now to be able to make good decisions. So you can kind of tie in your logic with your gut on that one. And right now it is a time for you to focus on balance and stability. So you need to kind of prioritize what is the most important to you right now. What are you putting off or procrastinating? Where does your energy need to be focused? And definitely be flexible. Identify your priorities and kind of start at the top and work your way down. Adapt to change, things like that. So that is where this new moon and solar eclipse in Cancer is really going to be affecting summer solstice this weekend. With Mercury retrograde thrown in, and for those of you that are brand new witches, Mercury, when a planet goes into retrograde, it appears to be moving backwards in its orbit. It's not really moving backwards. It's just kind of our perception and the orbital path, in relation to the Earth and the Sun, things like that. But it appears to be moving backwards. So Mercury is the planet of communication, travel, technology, all of that. So when Mercury is in retrograde, when it's appearing to go backwards, it causes so much. It's crazy. Communication is on the fritz, so you'll find emails get lost. Your phone won't send text messages or won't receive calls. Travel is affected. So, flying, driving, you may have car troubles pop up. Shipments. So as if, we're already not getting our mail and our packages the way just with the pandemic and everything right now, you throw in Mercury retrograde, there's going to be super delays. Emotionally right now, because this Mercury retrograde, and this started yesterday, the 18th, and it goes till July 12th. Sorry to tell y'all that. They do last for like 3 weeks, and Mercury retrograde happens 3 times a year. So with this one being in the astrological sign of Cancer, emotions, huge. This one could affect family issues. So if there's kind of like some latent, low-lying family issues, they could be really brought to the surface. The best way to deal with those at this time is to try and be as clear in your communication as possible and face them head on. So that's kind of the way to be able to get through that. You definitely want to take this time to create stability and listen to your inner self. And that's the thing about any Mercury retrograde. You want to kind of restore yourself. You want to hibernate. You want to rejuvenate so that when you emerge from Mercury retrograde, you can move forward. You don't want to try and do a lot during Mercury retrograde as far as moving forward. You want to plan and center and everything like that. So then when Mercury retrograde ends, you can kind of burst forth with that energy. So right now it's going to be all about creating stability and listening to your inner self. So do I have any questions on right now? So the new moon, solar eclipse, Mercury retrograde?
No questions, just comments. Too much comments.
Yeah. Comments.
I see Maria hates summer.
Maria hates summer.
Mandy and...
Hold on, I wonder if this is Maria in Arizona. If so, I feel you.
Mandy and Lisa are Cancers, so they need more emotion. And Ashley Jean Pegs is a new member, looking forward to learning.
Aw, Ashley's looking forward to learning. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. I hope I can teach you things today.
I think it's mostly...
Okay. Well, then we will move forward with Summer Solstice, because if you've never been here, I do try and, like, I break everything down, and then there's, like, natural pauses to where I'll go back, answer, try to read through your questions, your comments, things like that. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing the comments and questions right now. So I will hopefully get fixed before tomorrow's live. So moving from the new moon solar eclipse, because that's specific to what's happening right now and this summer solstice. So right now, I'm going to go into more of just summer solstice in general. So the summer solstice energy is all about celebration. All about celebration. So if you are kind of familiar with the energetic flow of the Wheel of the Year, or if you're not, I'm going to go over it real quick for you. So the Wheel of the Year for most pagan belief systems begins at Samhain, or Halloween. That is our witch's new year. Okay, that is the time when we set our intentions for how we want the next year to go. Okay, it is also the beginning of the dark time of the year. So while we're setting those intentions, we start to go down inside of ourselves, because the only way to truly transform and to truly make change in your life and to truly make magic happen is to come up from a place of authority from yourself, purity, so your intentions are pure, and authenticity, so you're being true to yourself, your intentions, everything. Once you have those 3 things put together, you can emerge, and you know that your magical intentions will be a lot clearer. So with Samhain, we're thinking about the year ahead, we're setting our intentions in general. Then we move on to Yule, which is December, and you really are like diving down, you're doing that shadow working, you're pulling out the things that you want to bring to light, you're getting to know who you are down at your core, okay? And this is all like the energetic flow of the Wheel of the Year. This is not the Wiccan Wheel of the Year. This is not the celebration. This is the energetic flow of the Wheel of the Year. So you go from Yule into Imbolc, which is February 1st. And that's going to be your initial spark of reawakening. Okay, so you've dug down inside of yourself, you've done your shadow working, which shadow working is a continuous thing, but you've done a really big part of it. And you notice, okay, this is something I want to nurture, and this is something I really want to grow, and this is something I want to do. So Imbolc is that time when the fires really just start to be lit inside of you. Then you move to Ostara, which is Easter. You plant those seeds. So now you have a greater understanding of what it is you want to accomplish this year and how you're going to do it. So you plant those metaphysical seeds. You make a plan. You're like, I'm going to do this year, and this is how I'm going to do it. You move forward to Beltane, which is May 1st. And Beltane is a fire festival. So it is fire and fertility. You are nurturing those seeds. You are adding flames of inspiration to it. You're really doing everything you can to make those seeds of intention grow. Then you get to Summer Solstice. You are adding that last burst of pure strength, pure power, pure energy. And into Lammas, which is August 1st, that's when you begin to harvest. So all of this stuff is growing. You've nurtured it. You're beginning to really start to see the fruits of your labor and your magical endeavors and how you're going to end your year out and the things that you started at Samhain. And so Lammas is going to be the beginning of that. Into Mabon, which is September, it's autumn equinox. And that's when you really truly get to harvest and really enjoy the fruits of your labor, enjoy everything that you've done, the growth that you've done for the year as you move into Samhain to start the next year. So, with it being summer solstice, that's what you're going to do energetically. Energetically, you are adding fire energy, you are adding sun, you are adding strength, you are adding power. If there is anything left that needs that little boost of energy, you're doing it. And you're celebrating because you've put in the majority of the work already. And you are this close to reaping the benefits. And you know it, and you can feel it, and you're alive. So that's what summer solstice is all about. It is celebrating, it is dancing in the sun. It is celebrating all of the hard work that you've been doing since Samhain. And knowing, trusting that your harvest is right there. Yeah. So into a little bit more of the Wicca, which I will tell you now, I'm not Wiccan. So I'm not very knowledgeable on the Wiccan Wheel of the Year as far as the Oak King and the Holly King and the goddess and giving birth and them coming. I'm not really familiar with it. But I do know that Litha, which is summer solstice, is the end of the Oak King's reign and the beginning of the Holly King's reign. Although I think in the Oak King is born again at Yule, and then he reigns from Yule to summer solstice, and then he's like killed by the Holly King. I'm telling you, I'm not up to date, and I was like, I could dive into this, or I could concentrate more on the stuff I know about. So there's also some things, though, I started to read that when going with the seasonal harvest stuff more, it makes more sense that the transition from Oak King to Holly King and back again actually happens at the equinoxes, not the solstices. So that's when, I'm not gonna lie, my brain fried and I went, this is why I'm not Wiccan. So it is, though, from the majority, or kind of the accepted belief or tale, is that it's the end of the Oak King's reign and the beginning of the Holly King, and the Holly King reigns over the darker part of the year, and the Oak King is more the young one who rules over the lighter part of the year. So but basically, energetically speaking, this is the longest day of the year. It is a solar festival, so it focuses completely on the sun. The sun is masculine. It is the divine masculine energy. And so it's really the time of the year to add those divine masculine energy, to add that divine masculine energy to your endeavors, to your life, really kind of amp them up. And they often, while it is a solar festival, they often burn fires, into the night, to keep the light going so that they can celebrate longer, because pagans like to celebrate all the things. So your colors for summer solstice are definitely orange, yellow, red. Fire. Yeah. I will pause here. Did I have any questions so far? I have questions! Mandy Marie says, Mom is not well, need to travel 16 hours. Advice on traveling during retrograde. Yeah, take lots of breaks. Make sure everything is up to date before you travel. So if it's like a car, make sure you've got, oil changed, all that kind of, all your fluids are in check, that kind of stuff. Definitely take, frequent breaks to not burn yourself out, but also your vehicle. Malachite is a wonderful gemstone for travel, and then especially air travel and car travel. So if you have malachite, definitely take that with you. And then I believe it's mugwort and rosemary. I know mugwort is supposed to be protection. You can make a little sachet with I know mugwort and rosemary, and those are supposed to be protect travelers with your malachite. So those can be added like in a little mojo bag or something to your car, little bottle or something to keep with in your bag or your car or anything like that. So yeah. How often, Amy asks, how often do you do these live teachings? Been studying alone since 14. This is great. Thank you. Every Friday at 3 p.m. I am here. And eventually, one day, I say this every week, it still hasn't happened. One day, I will re-record these to go on YouTube. And it was really easy when there was only like 3 or 4, and now we're into, I don't know, probably 10 of these now. One day I will re-record them so that they are more, there's no questions and answers in the middle. They're more just, the bulk of the information, and they will go on YouTube one day. So.
Joni Fox wants to know if there's a way to watch them again here.
Yes, there should be a, Joni Fox, this will go up on the page as a replay after we're done. So it'll be here and then there should be a videos tab on our page. I'm told that there's a videos tab on our page. So you should be able to click videos and see all the lives that I've done every Friday. Yep. All right. So moving into more of like the correspondences of summer solstice. Because this is a solar festival, solar sun equals sun is divine masculine. This is really a time to honor sun gods, okay? Which, some of the kind of more common sun gods are Apollo, who was the Greek god of the sun, Dagda, who was the Celtic father, he was like the all-encompassing, god of life and death, but like the father figure for the Celtic people, all that. Frey, or Freyr. I hope I got that right. I'm not up to date on my Norse. He's the Norse god of peace, rain, and sunshine. I'm not even going to attempt. We have a summer solstice eclectic witch deck, in the shop. Sometimes, I don't need to rewrite it. I can read it off here. I'm not even attempting to pronounce that next one. Nope, not trying it. He's the Aztec warrior god of the sun. Yeah. Helios was the Greek personification of the sun, and I'll explain in a second the difference between Apollo and Helios. Ra is the Egyptian sun god, and then Surya was the Hindu sun god. So the difference between Apollo and Helios is Apollo was the Greek god of the sun, but when the Greeks were talking about the sun itself and its energy, that would be Helios. They personified, they gave the sun, human characteristics and like a human personification. So that was Helios. So that's where kind of the difference lies between that. So those are the main ones. Of course, there are hundreds of gods. We good? Okay. Sorry, the postman's here.
Yeah, we're good.
There are hundreds of gods associated with sun, light, things like that. These are kind of the more popular ones, or the ones that had the strongest sun energy in their pantheon. So that's why I chose them for the card. And again, if you have the Summer Solstice deck, this is one of the cards in it. Because I do my research, and my research does not, even I think if I would have put a pronunciation guide on that, I still would have butchered it. So goddesses are still present at Summer Solstice, but it really is, this is a solar celebration, and the sun is masculine, the moon is feminine. So you really do want to honor those masculine energies. But there are still some goddesses associated with Summer Solstice as well. They are mostly associated with Summer Solstice through the sun, but also marriage and mothers, because now is the time, the summer is like the most popular time to get married. And then a lot of people, like when you're following the Wheel of the Year, so Beltane is that fire festival of sexuality. And even Ostara, there's a lot of fertility and, baby animals being born, things like that. So there's a lot of pregnant women during the summer as well.
That's the pronunciation.
No, that's not the right one, though. That's Quetzalcoatl. I know how to pronounce that one. But this was... this... Thank you, Christy, though. It's a different god, because I know how to pronounce Quetzalcoatl. This one started out Huitzilopoctli. There we go. Yeah, I got that. But for some reason, that's the only one I do know how to pronounce pretty well. So the goddesses of Summer Solstice. So there's Anya, who is the Celtic summer goddess of love and fertility and a fairy queen. Another one. Amaterasu. I really hope I did not butcher that. I apologize now if I did. Japanese goddess of the sun. We're gonna go right here. There you go. Amaterasu. That rolls. It rolls better, right? Bast, the Egyptian cat goddess of protection, and she is there because she's a mothering figure, a very good, nurturing energy. So she's there more for the marriage, the mothering part, the family unit, but very strong protective energy. Hathor, who's the Egyptian sky goddess and the mother of mothers. Then there was Juno, month of June, the Roman goddess of marriage. She was also queen of the gods. And Sol, or Sunna, who is the Norse goddess of the sun. So, yeah. So there are still some, feminine deities, some goddesses that can be associated with Summer Solstice that you could still honor at this time. And again, those were just like pretty prominent ones that are very big, either attached to Summer Solstice or the month of June, or, sun, marriage, mothers. Yeah. So I'm going to go over like a few, just kind of quickly, like herbs, oils, gemstones. We'll go into the chakras for a minute, and food. And that's kind of my thing. Oh, and then the practices, which is a way to be really tying in everything right now. So as far as oils and herbs, everything right now, you want to focus on bright, fiery energy. Okay, so things like cinnamon, clove, orange, calendula, chamomile, saffron. That's a great one. I love some saffron rice. But lavender is actually a huge herb or oil of summer solstice because the lavender fields are like in full bloom right now. So lavender is heavily associated with summer solstice. Gemstones, again, you're going to be looking at that bright, fiery energy. You're also going to be looking at like kind of plush, like the earth, because the earth is, started to wake up, kind of Ostar, everything was really growing, moved into Beltane, everything was really fertile. We're still in that really fertile stage right now. So the earth is green. So aventurine is a really big gemstone for this Sabbath. And sunstone associates with the sun. But you're also looking at like citrine and carnelian. Tiger's eye is another big one, and coral, just because it's that bright fiery red, especially the bright fiery red coral. And then emerald is going to associate a lot with the earth right now too. So your chakras, your energy centers, because the kind of the big overall thing, we're going into summer solstice, how you can practice it, but I really focus on the energetic flow of things. So your chakras come into a lot of play during all the Sabbats, because you can use the energy that's already present to really help align you and help your energy flow. So right now, it's your sacral chakra, which is your second, and your solar plexus, which is your third. So your sacral chakra is like your lower belly. That color is orange. It's Friday, y'all. And it deals with creativity, sexuality, enjoying your life, and forming positive relationships. So that's going to be your lower belly. It's associated with orange. So any kind of orange gemstones can help really activate that chakra. Orange foods, orange drinks, anything wearing orange, anything like that is really going to help open up your sacral chakra. So you can have that creativity flow, that sexuality, that joy for life. And it can really help you create positive relationships and kind of filter out the toxic relationships in your life. So it's that one, and then the solar plexus, which is the next one up, that's going to be your upper belly or like your diaphragm area. This is the one that is, if anyone with anxiety, generally speaking, will have an imbalance of your solar plexus chakra. So your solar plexus chakra is your personal power center. So those of us with anxiety, we're doubting. We have that, we're not really claiming our own power. We're not really claiming, our own lives and our thoughts and everything. We're living, too far in the future, or we're living kind of what ifs. And I do say we, because I too have anxiety. So that is really the chakra to work on if you do have, kind of issues with anxiety, or personal power, not speaking up for yourself, if you have self-esteem issues, things like that, because that's where all of that's going to come from. So the solar plexus chakra also completely correlates to the sun. So this is going to really be the one you want to add that fiery energy to. So yellow gemstones, because the color is yellow for that one. So your citrine, your yellow calcite, yellow aventurine, things like that. A really good way to celebrate summer solstice and to activate your chakras, especially those chakras, is dancing and moving those chakras. So that's going to be some belly dancing. No one has to be around. No one has to watch. But if you can get those two chakras moving, put on something orange, put on something yellow, put on some good music, shake your hips, get that energy flowing, and that's really going to open up those two chakras. You can also lay down underneath the sun and kind of expose your belly, like pull your shirt up, have those two chakras really, out so that the sun can hit them directly. Great way to really kind of, add energy to those two, clear them out, and kind of get your energy flowing, get that personal power back, that creativity, that sexuality, get all of that and be able to harness it for yourself. So those are two really good energy flow centers that you want to focus on. But either getting out and dancing, or kind of just laying there and letting the sun, hit directly on your stomach for a little while. Great ways to boost those two chakras. Okay, on the home stretch now. Do we have any more questions?
A whole bunch of thank yous for doing stuff like this. This is amazing.
Oh,
Awesome.
you're welcome. Thank you for the thank yous. All right, so yeah, okay, foods. I'm a kitchen witch. I have to talk about food as much as possible. So, foods for summer solstice. First thing, definitely yellow and orange foods. Yellow peppers, squash, carrots. Yeah. And again, if you have the summer solstice deck, I'm going off card. But I'm kind of expanding on it as well. Sweet potatoes, lemons, oranges, all that kind of stuff. So incorporate that into the fresh fruits and vegetables. Everything is in season right now, just about. So it's a really good time to eat fresh, clear your body out, detox it. You're going to be, in the sun. You're going to be sweating. It's a really good time right now. Lemonade, orangeade, things like that. Really get your body cleaned out. Get as much healthy, good food into it to get your energy flowing right now. Because you want to be at your full energetic capacity. Like you want to be balls to the wall right now. That is what summer solstice is about. So kind of filling your tank with pure foods is the best way to do that.
Lavender honey cake.
Lavender honey cake.
So Jenny has mixed.
That's what Jenny had. That sounds delicious. Yes, Jenny. Lavender. So that goes into edible flowers, which we talked about last night in the sacred space too. And then I don't know how to. I swear, one of these days I'll figure it out. Edible flowers. Lavender, I think is delicious. Rose, I think is delicious. We talked about last night in the sacred space in the group. It started out over when I was in England. I found this little chocolate shop that made truffles, lavender and rose. And they were the filling on the inside, and then they were dark chocolate on the outside. I've never found anything in America like it. It was the absolute most delicious chocolate I've ever had in my life. But someone was saying it's kind of making its way over here now, things like that. I do know that there are quite a few fair trade dark chocolate bars on the market that have lavender in them. One of them has lavender and blueberry. Oh, I can't remember the brand right now. That's delicious. So eat your flowers right now. You can add them to salads. I found out last night. I'm more of a I put them on cakes. I have put them on cakes before, edible flowers. And for us here in Tucson, we have like a farmer's market grocery store type thing called a Sprouts. It's kind of like a Whole Foods, but not as uppity. It's more, and it's even a little less uppity than Trader Joe's too. So it's like a down uppity. Yeah. They have edible flowers at this time of year all the time, like back where the fresh herbs and stuff are. So you can grab those. You can add them to flour. You can add the flowers to salads, cakes. lavender lemonade is a really great thing to make this time of year. And if you can find yourself some, I promise you, add some lavender or rose into chocolate. It is absolutely amazing. We even talked about it, I can't remember if it was this week or last week. If you happen to have a Dutch Brothers near you, it's a coffee place. They have a lavender white chocolate cold brew coffee. There's a small chance that if I could have that every day, I'd give one of my kids away. I wouldn't, but I'd have to think really hard. If someone were to say free white chocolate lavender Dutch Brothers cold brews every day, they were delicious. So if you've never tried it, definitely try some edible flowers. Find some ones that are actually, culinary grade. I don't recommend, kind of going outside and picking them unless you grow, your own roses, your own lavender, stuff like that. But venture out. I promise you, lavender dark chocolate is delicious if you can find the bars. It's good stuff. And then barbecues. We're outside, we're having fun, we're enjoying life, we're celebrating in the sun. So any kind of barbecue foods are the way to go. Vegetarian, non-vegetarian, plant-based. You can throw anything on a kebab. You can, and grill it. So yeah, even cooking over an open fire. So, that's why stuff like s'mores are so popular. So, those are all ways to really kind of incorporate food into, your practice, food and drink. And of course, honey definitely, I think, was another one this time of year, because the bees are still producing from Beltane and Ostara. So incorporating honey. So if you can find a good quality mead, I highly recommend that. Again, I haven't found a mead in America that I like as much as the mead in England. And I tried to order it online and it was super expensive. The closest I have found here in America is, I don't even know if they call it a mine, but it was called Viking Blood. It was a bottle. It's like a black bottle. It's an epic bottle. That is the closest thing to like a mead, and I think that was red even. And mead is not. Mead is generally like honey colored, because it's a wine made out of honey. But the Viking Blood was just as sweet. It was good stuff. So yeah. Let me pause right before. We're going to go into practices and then we're done. Oh, and then Midsummer. Practices and then Midsummer. Any questions?
No questions.
No questions.
Bowser said peanut butter cookies with Reese's, question mark. Those are orange and yellow. Not so pure though.
Nina and the Reese's peanut butter cup. Go for it. Just go for it.
And Jenny said dark chocolate sounds good.
Okay. So your practices for summer solstice, if you don't want to do a huge, absolutely massive ritual, we all know I'm a busy witch. I'm going to tell you ways to, kind of low-key ways to honor everything. Spend the day outside in the sun. Easiest way to celebrate summer solstice. Performing candle magic, especially kind of going into the night so that you can keep the light going into the night, but don't fall asleep with candles burnt. That's like just my little public service announcement. Celebrate however you want to celebrate whatever you want to celebrate with whomever you want to celebrate. You can cook out and definitely dance. Especially moving that torso, because that's going to get those two chakras that are related to summer solstice moving and the energy flow going through them. Summer solstice was one of the two, and I think I even wrote the summer solstice ritual my last summer in England. We always came together as a big group for summer solstice and Yule. And so those are the two that I absolutely love. And of course, Halloween. But as a group, we came together for those two. And I just have amazing memories of sitting out in the middle of a field in the middle of nowhere, performing a summer solstice ritual during the day. So definitely get outside, under the sun, really celebrate. Yeah. So specifically with summer solstice, the new moon, the solar eclipse, Mercury retrograde, with all of that energy at play, there are specific things you can do this weekend to really harness all of that energy and make it work in your life. Okay? The first one is you want to write out your new moon intentions. Okay? And new moon intentions are basically 1 month goals. So for a lot of magic and a lot of intention, a lot of manifestation, you're going to need all of the moon phases in order to make that happen. So you set your intentions at the new moon, you foster and everything through the full moon, and it'll come back around, and hopefully by the next new moon you will have manifested. You want to write out your new moon intentions, but you want to try to focus specifically, because of the energy that's going around right now, on what you want to do to reclaim or amp up your personal power. That's what you want to focus on right now, with this solar eclipse and new moon in Cancer. Is emotionally, physically, what can you do to reclaim, or if you don't have personal power issues, what can you do to amp them up? What areas of your life do you need more masculine energy? Okay, and so masculine energy. And this is stuff that can be deemed, I see them actually all as positives. But that's going to be in what areas of your life do you need strength? Do you need to be firm? Do you need to be stubborn? And that stubborn is not necessarily a bad thing. Where in your life do you need to be selfish? And not necessarily in a bad way. And where in your life do you need to be unapologetic? So these strength, firm, stubborn, selfish, and unapologetic, those are highly masculine qualities. And it can be negative if taken, too far into the masculine. But they're really good qualities to have, or to really foster or strengthen. And this is the time to do that. So just kind of, if you want to do journaling prompts, these are really great to use for that. But yeah, what areas in your life do you need more masculine energy? And that is coming from you. We all have masculine energy in us, regardless of sex or gender. We all have feminine energy inside of us, regardless of sex or gender. So it is harnessing both masculine and feminine energies and keeping them in balance, which is what the Cancer energy right now is really going to be focusing on, is that emotional balance and that balance within yourself. So pull up that masculine energy, pull up that feminine energy, really embrace the two and push them together. But for a lot of us, especially a lot of women, we shy away from the masculine energy. And now's not the time to do that. Now is the time to rise up, grab hold of that masculine energy, and make it yours. Okay? Another journaling prompt, or a kind of a practice for all this energy going on. How do you define your personal power, and what are your strengths? So sit down and really focus on what your strengths are and where your personal power lies. It can be in activities. It can be in the way you think. It can be in the actions that you perform. But how do you define your personal power, and what are your strengths? And where do you need to light a fire in your life? And I did write fire for good. I'm not talking about setting shit on fire. I mean, in a negative way. Unless that maybe setting a metaphysical fire, not a physical fire, but maybe setting a metaphysical fire. I mean, maybe that's what you need in your life. Maybe you need to burn some bridges. Maybe you need to light something on fire metaphysically. But where do you need to light that fire in your life? Where's the energy stagnant? Where are you not moving? What goals are you not accomplishing because you're just sitting still? So those are all really good journaling prompts or things to be asking yourself right now with the new moon, the solar eclipse, summer solstice, Mercury retrograde, all of that happening right now. It's a really great way to harness all of it. Yeah, so before I have just the midsummer left, which is just a quick little like fun factoid. Were there any questions as far as the practices?
Ashley, remember, wants to know if there are any recommendations for first time of summer solstice rituals or a list of typical activities.
Ashley, first time summer solstice rituals or activities. I mean, besides the easy ones that I just gave, kind of the easy ways, the only thing I can recommend, honestly, and this really goes for anything, if it's to research. So you can even Google, or if you have books or anything, but Google like a summer solstice ritual, but don't pick one. Google, pull up like 17 tabs, because that's how I do things, and look at each one and kind of write them down and say, oh, I really like that. Like, you'll get goosebumps if you read something that really resonates with you. So kind of go through them and say, okay, this is a good one, and I really like this, and I really like this, and piece together your own until you have something that really truly is yours. But for where I learned 15 years ago, I learned a lot of my knowledge and everything from a very eclectic group of pagans in England, from all different walks of life, from all different pantheons. We literally we would hike out to a field, form a circle, we would do a ritual, but then we would just sit around and talk and eat and drink. And that is how we celebrated summer solstice. In the middle of a field during the day, under the sun, just enjoying each other's company. So yeah. Anything else, sir?
That's it.
No? Okay. So midsummer. So if summer solstice is the first day of summer, why is it often called midsummer? I love it. So it's another card in the deck. All right, so the original Celtic calendar began November 1st, which is New Year, Samhain, Halloween. So they had 4 seasons, just like we did, but they ran, their winter was November, December, January. Then with Imbolc began spring, because that was kind of the first awakening. The first signs of life after the winter. So your spring was February, March, April, and that was really, Imbolc into Ostara. So then your summer started May 1st with Beltane, which was the fire festival. So the fire festival kicked off the summer. So your summer was May, June, July, and then your fall kicked off with the first harvest festival, which was Lammas, which was August 1st. So your fall was August, September, October. So therefore, if your summer started May 1st and went to, July 31st, June 20th was smack dab in the middle. It was the midpoint. It was called Midsummer. And there is a movie I'm gonna try and it's Father's Day weekend though too. I can't. He's not gonna watch it. He's not gonna watch the Midsummer, the new horror. It was a thriller, by the people that made Hereditary, which was a crazy movie. But there is a thriller movie out called Midsummer where they travel to, because to this day, countries like Sweden still have huge midsummer celebrations that celebrate a maypole, and that's like the maypole, and that's in that Midsummer movie. It's these kids backpack in Europe somewhere and get sucked into a crazy ancient pagan ritual. And I have to watch it. I just may have to watch it by myself or after Midsummer because it's Father's Day weekend too. So for all you fathers out there, happy Father's Day. That is Sunday. So much going on this weekend, like energetically, between summer solstice, Mercury retrograde, new moon, with a solar eclipse, you know, all of this going on, and it's Father's Day. It's just everything. It's crazy. It's crazy right now. I mean, it's crazy everywhere, but energetically speaking, this weekend is jam-packed with energy. So I hope that I have helped you figure out ways to really harness the energy this weekend and use it for yourself and use it to further the energetic flow of, you know, in your life and to help you manifest your magical intentions and everything. So that was my intention with going over summer solstice stuff today because there's a lot going on. So one last check for questions. No? All right. So tomorrow, Saturday, which is summer solstice, we are doing our first rare gemstone live sale. And I am super excited about it. We are furthering the fiery energy of the summer with the gemstones that we chose. There's only about 6 gemstones, so this isn't going to be, you know, a 2 or 3 hour event. There's 6 gemstones I think that we're featuring, and basically it's going to work. I'm going to go live, show the specimens, talk about them, and then they're going to be listed one by one in the shop, and I will definitely be able to put up, you know, a link and everything. So that's happening tomorrow. So it is happening here on the Facebook page. I hope you all will join me. I'm thinking of simultaneously casting it on Instagram as well. I'm not 100% on that. So it will definitely be here on Facebook. Even if you're not going to shop with us, we have some beautiful gemstones that we're going to be showing you and kind of teaching you about. So there's definitely some fiery ones. We've got some rare ones. We have some ones specifically made for the shop. We have some really cool ones going up tomorrow. So I hope you all would join me. That is at noon Pacific time tomorrow. So 3 p.m. Eastern time. And then if you are not a member of our group, if you are a customer of ours, you have to be a customer. We do have a group. It is associated with the page. It's called like Ink Goddess Creations VIP customers. There are 3 short questions you have to answer in order for us to verify that you are a customer of ours. And then you're let into the group. We have Sacred Space every Thursday. It's a great group. It really is. We're like a family over there. So I highly recommend, if you're not a member of the group, to join. And then I'm here every Friday at 3 Pacific time doing the Facebook Lives. And I really hope that you all will join tomorrow at noon Pacific time for our rare live gemstone sale. It's our first. We're going to have it, I would say weather permitting, but it's not like it's going to rain. It's going to be in my backyard. And if nothing else, we're going to be showing you some gorgeous gemstones. Okay? So thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you have an amazing summer solstice. Really harness that energy. Set your new moon intentions. The solar eclipse is going to be powerful. A definite happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining. Bye.